All right, well, I'm at Riverside Insurance here in Fort Collins, Colorado with Chase and Julius to talk about all of our questions that we had in regards to insurance policies for our multifamily investments. So, welcome guys, thanks for having us.
Absolutely.
Thanks for taking our
thanks
questions.
for being here.
All right, so the first question we have is, at what stage in the purchase of one of our multifamily investments does the insurance company get involved?
What I would always tell you guys to do is as soon as you have dialed in an address that you are interested in, that's probably the best time to start looping us into the equation.
And I would say too, and this is true through the whole process, right? The more we communicate about what's going on with the property, the better.
What are the benefits of bringing you guys in before we sign a contract?
Right. Once you guys start identifying a property that you're serious about, right? Just just shoot me an email and say, hey, here's the address, I can send you guys some kind of basic, what's the age of the roof, those kind of things. We can find some of that stuff on our side too, when it was built, when remodels were done.
You can also help, like I said, on the contractor piece. We have a lot of good roofing companies that will go out, if you're taking a look at a property and you don't necessarily know anything about the roof, we can send a roofer out there with you.
Like when you're working with us as a landlord, would you recommend a minimum policy that the renters hold?
To go from $100,000 of liability coverage on a renter's policy to $500,000 of coverage on a renter's policy, $4 or $5 a year. So I would just flat out tell you, say $500,000. Nobody's gonna balk at it. Any insurance agent's gonna know what you're doing, so they're not gonna have any qualms about it.
So you're saying if I require $500,000 renter's insurance, that's going to help my premium?
Correct.
And theirs is going to go up by $5.
Yep.
Correct.
Yep. How and when should a landlord utilize the tenant's renter's insurance rather than through the owner's policy? A lot of that's dictated by where the claim started and originated. So we can help navigate that for you guys.
I never thought about that. So like during the whole due diligence period, you guys can look at the past much easier than I could.
Than you could.
Making phone calls over and over.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. Theft claims, fire claims, those things happen. Every time you have a water backup claim, there's $5,000 out the door that you got to account for.
Now we're talking about natural disasters. I mean, I've got one pilot over there. His entire block, all the pipes bursted. Water went into the street. Now it's an ice skating rink.
Yep.
So in cases when big natural disasters like that, you can't really point the finger at the property or the landlord or the tenants. So how does that work?
Yeah.
So as it comes to kind of like the natural disaster that kind of happened in Texas, most all of those homeowners' policies are really going to pick up those claims for the broken pipes and the damage that happened to their home specifically. That's kind of how that's always going to function.
And the renter's policies that your tenants have will pick up their possessions inside the property. So your policy is going to pick up the structural damage, and their policy is going to pick up their personal property.
In your history, it sounds like wind and hail is pretty big here.
Yeah.
But have you seen anything else as far as, oh gosh, I wish the landlord had the policy on this because it's listed in the exclusion?
So all the fires have happened up in
High Park area, and then
everything up in like Estes Park, all that stuff.
Yeah.
That would all be covered on your normal homeowners or landlord policy, either one. Those are going to be covered.
Do you guys recommend like any documentation, photos, videos, or anything when it's still fresh?
Sure.
So when something does happen, either the tenant's fault, natural accident, whatnot, what kind of documentation do you guys recommend?
Just for your own records, take pictures of the outside. Take pictures of anything that you think might be unique or different about the properties. If you have that, that's just going to make claim time a whole heck of a lot easier.
I get this a lot. If we have a contractor working on the property, slips off the roof, falls, how is that covered?
It depends on the context of the situation.
Anytime that you guys are going to be doing renovations or anything like that, just call your insurance agent and see, because some policies will have some coverage, some policies will have a lot of coverage, some might not have any, depending on what policy you're in.
So guys, if anybody wants to get in contact with you, whether in Colorado or any other place, how would they do that?
Yeah, so if you want to call our main line, that's usually the easiest way to get a hold of us. It's 970-999-0101. Don't be afraid to call us. It all rings through to our cell phones too. So if you guys ever have an emergency or just a random insurance question, I'm more than happy to answer it for you. or you can reach us by email.
Awesome, guys. This was huge education for everybody. So thanks for taking the time with us today.
Congratulations, you guys. It's a good thing you guys are doing. We're here to help wherever we can.